Hello and welcome to my channel, Infinite Intuition. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if not, then just welcome. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video today. So I had said quite a few videos ago that where my energy is at after the election, I'm not really focusing on pick a card videos this time. However, I do still want to do a pick a card for each month. So we are doing that today, though this is like the least piles that I've ever had. Usually my very minimum is 3 piles to choose from, but today I really only felt like 2 were needed. So yeah, it's gonna be pile 1 or pile 2 that you guys are going to be choosing from today. Why the energy is like that at this moment, I do not know. I don't know if it does have to do with anything political. I will try and not do as much, political predictions as I can. If anything does pop through in this reading, it's just because it does feel like it needs to be said. I do feel like it needs to be said. But for the most part, this is the prediction of your guys' December reading. What is going to happen for you in this new month of December? How are we going to end this year? Okay. So like I said, this is going to be pile 1 and this is going to be pile 2. I will have a meditation up for you for like about a minute or so for you guys to meditate on the cards. And then I'm going to put crystals on these cards, and then you can choose from the crystals as well. And then afterwards, or not afterwards, but afterwards I'll be going into the readings. But if you are having any issue with your intuition right now, you can go ahead and pause the video, give yourself a little bit more time. Try your best not to second guess yourself. Go with the first pile that you feel most drawn to. You can also go ahead and look at the timestamps below and see if your favorite number now is down there. Maybe your favorite angel number is down there. But yeah, do whatever you need to do to help your intuition pick the right pile that is for you. If you are still having an issue, you can always come back at a later time, or you can go ahead and just read both piles and pick the one that you feel resonates with you the most. So let's go ahead and meditate on these 2 piles. And here are our crystals for our piles. I did have to shift a little bit, so the transition was not as smooth, but that was only because how I have my cards placed right now. They were tilted slightly, and my tumbled stone decided to start to slide off the card as I was getting ready to talk about these crystals. So an interesting thing happened where when picking out the crystals for these 2 piles, I actually just had an overwhelming vibe to use amethyst for this reading. And, no other crystals popped out. So pile 1 actually has an amethyst tumbled stone, while pile 2 has a clustered amethyst stone. It doesn't matter, which amethyst is like the most important, and just go with the vibe, go with your intuition of whether the tumbled stone feels like it's the right stone for you or the cluster feels like it's the right stone for you. Either way, both of these stones are going to mean the same thing. And usually what I do on my channel is I go ahead and I read the meaning of the crystal and see how it relates to your reading. Since they are both the same, I'm going to go ahead and read what that meaning is for you now. So, spiritually, it does talk about luxury, wealth, and power. It is believed to have healing and protective powers and is often used in feng shui to clear negative energy from a space or protect it from harm. It is also said to enhance intuition, spiritual awareness, and psychic abilities. The third eye, or the amethyst stone, is also related to the third eye, so that also goes along with intuition and psychic abilities. Perhaps for many of you, your intuition is going to be very heightened in the month of December, and that is kind of no surprise given the reading that I had just finished doing for my post-election readings, talking about awareness and intuition, people being intuitive over the vibe of this post-election and what the results were and stuff like that. So again, like I said, I will try not to do so many political predictions for this reading, for these readings. But like I said, some of them may link through, and that is one of those things that definitely wanted to come through. But you could also just have a pretty strong intuition for this month of December, not just around election time, but maybe having a strong knowing of maybe what you need to do or who you may be able to trust or maybe not trust, because I know like family tension is happening around this time after the election. So yeah, just things like that, just a very strong sense of knowing. Maybe for some of you, you're wondering, like, should I be taking this step forward on something? And you have this sense of knowing in the month of December of whether yes or no, and about that being the right step for you to take. Okay, so those are just examples. That was the meaning of the crystals that we wanted to go over, or that we needed to go over. And now we are going to go ahead and take about a minute to meditate on these crystals to give you some more time to help your intuition to pick the right pile that is meant for you. Hello, pile 1. If you are here, that means you chose the amethyst tumbled stone. So we already read what the amethyst stone means, so I'm just going to go ahead and plop it up here. I'm sorry that my screen is probably so dark. I'm going to light it up, hopefully in post-edit, or just in post, I mean, while I'm editing. If you don't know what post means, just while I'm editing. Hopefully I can brighten this up a little bit. But like I've been saying in at least one of my past videos that I was just filming, I'm filming a lot of things back to back right now. And that's just because I do not have a whole lot of time this week. It is a holiday week, and I also have a birthday at the end of the month that I'm going to be, or at the end of the week that I'm going to be celebrating. I also have to get ready for a trip because a friend of mine's getting married, and then while I'm at it, I'm like, well, I might as well go ahead and see my parents for the holidays, and it's all just happening in other states. So yeah, just a lot of travel for me, a lot of busy time trying to get things together and stuff. But that being said, because I am so busy, I am really going to try and make this video, nice and short. And I've already shuffled the cards ahead of time, so I'm not going to do any shuffling on camera today. Also, I do have my astral dice with me today, so we're going to be going over that as well, which I actually do believe I'm going to go ahead and show you what came up for you guys first. So I'm not going to actually roll them because I wanted to make sure that I had the meaning up all ready to go for you guys. So I didn't have to take the time to look at it and like edit my video too much. So what I had rolled for you guys was, hold on, I lost where the sign was. There was. We had Virgo. Sorry, it's so blurry, but we had Virgo in the house or in the planet of Venus, in the 6th house. Okay, so that is what I rolled for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and read what that is all about. Oh, not in Venus. That is, I think that's pile 2. I meant to say the North Node. I apologize. Virgo with the North Node in the 6th house. So this explanation also talks about the opposing sign. Not the opposing sign, but the opposing planet, even though this isn't really a planet, it's the North Node. So it's talking about the South Node and the opposite house being the 12th house that it goes against, that is like opposite of the 6th house. So none of the pile 2 doesn't have a reading like that because I went with whatever website popped up, and I felt like I needed to read from that website. But yeah, yours talks about the South Node. Oh, it actually talks about its opposing sign as well. So yeah, the opposite sign of what's in the chart right now at this current time, or wherever this would be on the chart, and then, or like the opposite sign, because you do have an opposite, like Cancer and Capricorn are actually opposites of each other. So Virgo and let's say Pisces are opposite of each other. Obviously, the North Node is the opposite of the South Node, and then the 6th house is opposite of the 12th house. So yeah, that's going to be talked about. It goes, a tendency to avoid dealing with the details and practicalities of everyday life, to lead a rather haphazard and unorganized existence, to avoid formulating clear goals, and to put too much faith in a grand plan while neglecting practical concerns are some of the issues faced with this position. With this placement, we need to work on developing some healthy and practical routines and schedules. Otherwise, we may be victim of vague worries and anxieties. Winging life is fine to an extent, but without clear goals and some orderliness, we can easily feel like we are not in control of our lives. With the North Node in Virgo or the 6th house, we have great compassion for others. Taken too far, however, we risk feeling used. Our goal should be to establish limits for others and ourselves to develop a more focused mind and orderliness that will empower us with confidence in ourselves and our lives to develop systems that will help us to be more productive and to pay attention to deadlines, details, and rules that will enrich our lives. By structuring our lives, we will be able to come closer to achieving our dreams. Okay, so that is just some advice that the Spirit wanted to give you with what we rolled for you. And now we're going to go ahead and get into our cards. Okay. And I'm actually using a spread. So you're going to see me lay the cards out in the order of what that spread is. So first, for just your overall vibe of the month, we have the Emperor. Okay, I'm going to push that up a little bit. So we have the Emperor as your vibe. So I definitely feel like it's a very strong vibe, very fatherly, parental, regardless of your gender. Maybe you are a parent. Maybe you're going to become a parent in the month of December. But I kind of feel like it's also like parenting yourself a little bit with what we had just talked about with your Virgo with the North Node and stuff. And to go along with your theme of the month, we have the Star. So we got 2 major arcana cards here for your vibe and your theme, which is amazing. That's a very strong power or energy that's going to be coming through. Talking about your wishes. So I feel like very action oriented, very focused, very passionate about your wishes and your desires. And like I said, this gives me fatherly, parental kind of vibes. And then that also brings in the masculine, and that means it also is more action oriented. So I definitely feel like we're going to be working very hard towards our wishes and our desires. But I also feel like being a parent to yourself when it comes to taking charge for your wishes and your desires and being like, no, today is not a day to relax. Today is a day to focus on this. So doing that a little bit more for yourself. And then we have a cosmic tip. So what does Spirit want to give you a tip of? Which you've got Ace of Cups. So I would say the tip for you from Spirit is to still focus. It's like, yeah, we may be action oriented towards our desires, but we also still need to watch our emotions take care of our inner self. It's okay to want to strive towards your dreams and your wishes, your desires, but we also need to be careful that we're not burning ourselves out and that we still take some downtime to heal ourselves, heal our emotions, heal our inner self. So that's what I'm getting with that card. And then we have action to take, which we have the 7 of Wands coming out. So with this, I kind of feel like we have some barriers that we need to be breaking down. some obstacles that we need to be breaking down. So taking the time to work on maybe even boundaries a little bit. I think this goes along with the tip here. To work on boundaries, work on obstacles, work on barriers. Maybe even with our emotions. So that's what I'm getting with that. Oh, wow. Oh no, never mind. I forgot you got 2 more cards that need to pop out. I read that a little bit differently. That's what I had in my hand. Next is what requires your attention, which is the 4 of Pentacles. So what requires your attention possibly, I think, would be maybe what's hurting us emotionally. Actually, push this to the side. With holding on, I feel like, to the past, definitely when it comes to our foundation, our structure, possibly around finances, being stable. Maybe holding too many boundaries. So we need to open up a little bit more. Don't hoard everything in. So that definitely requires your attention a little bit more. I think we definitely need to go within a little bit more. Your emotions need your attention. Your foundation needs your attention. How much are we holding inside? What are our fears? What are our worries? To not ignore those and to bring in some healing. And now we have the main overall prediction, which you actually ended up getting 2 cards for, which would be the Page of Wands along with the Queen of Swords. And I found this interesting because I am going to get a little bit political here with the Queen of Swords. This is a card that I had thought in my other tarot deck that I was specifically using for post-election readings, that I had asked Harris to be resembled as the Queen of Swords. So I kind of found that interesting that it did come out. I don't know if maybe somebody who was watching this may be part of her political team, or maybe it's her herself watching this. I don't know. Or maybe you voted for Harris. And so maybe the result of the election has been kind of getting to you. And so maybe that is some healing that we need to bring in. And maybe that's why we're feeling like we need to hold on to things. But with this Page of Wands, I do feel like this is at least, I think, a start with this Emperor energy of you picking yourself back up. That you're putting in this work, but then you're picking yourself back up and you're getting ready to face the month of December and take charge for these goals, for your wishes, for your desires. So I feel like that is the main prediction that is wanting to come through. Let's go ahead and look at your oracle cards. We have potential. So yeah, you definitely have great potential for your desires. We have stillness, which definitely makes sense with needing to heal. So maybe we do need to bring some stillness in for our healing. I do encourage on my channel a lot of the time when I do these pick a card readings, because it always feels like it needs to come through. More specifically with the fact that we have the Ace of Cups that deals with water, to possibly, for majority of you, go ahead and take a bath or a shower. If you take a bath, definitely have some time for it to just soak. Use a bath bomb. Maybe have some meditation music on, candles, maybe something scented, just anything that helps you relax and allow yourself to heal in water and stillness as well. This could also be talking about meditation as well. This image kind of makes me think of a hill or a mountain or a cliff, and so to me that does kind of strike me as going out into nature, which is something I also usually advise on my channel when something like this comes up, when we need to heal. So that could be for all of you, or for most of you, balancing out healing in water and healing in nature, or maybe it's either one or the other for you, whatever feels like the right thing to do for you on how to heal. We also have the moon popping up. So the moon card with this oracle deck also, to me, feels like it's talking about the moon card in tarot, where I do feel like there may be something hidden at this time. If you are somebody who is focused on the election and you voted for Harris, and maybe you know about like investigations coming up, that information at least right now is hidden. And maybe some other things going on in the month of December are still hidden for you. It's just the mystery of it all. So maybe mystery around the election, but also could be mystery around your goals and desires, of not really being certain of what the outcome is going to be as you put in action towards this. But know that that is okay. You know, it's okay to be unsure. It's okay to not know what the future is going to be. I know it's scary, but like that's also just part of life. And then we also have release, which I feel like definitely goes along with your release of emotions. Maybe we actually need to cry, to let some emotion out. You know, if we feel like we've been held back with these boundaries, holding in everything, you know, I'm sure we're holding in some emotions as well. So we are being encouraged to release them. And that's going to help us, that's going to help us moving forward toward our goals and our desires. And we also have accomplishment. So I see you in the month of December definitely accomplishing, I think, this task of being able to move forward and releasing our emotions, releasing what's holding us back, releasing what's we're holding on to. So let's go ahead and get another set of oracle cards. We also have Queen again, so Queen of Swords. Maybe you yourself are actually an air sign. That would be Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini, or that could also be some major placements like your big three, either your sun, moon, or rising. Or maybe you have a lot of air signs in your chart. But definitely, if this isn't political, I feel like you becoming the queen of your own life, you becoming in charge of your own life. So I kind of feel like this goes along with the emperor, you know, going balancing here. Like I have a sense of balance here, equilibrium, self-awareness of our emotions, self-awareness of what we need to do to achieve our goals, finding harmony within ourselves, feeling more radiant and beautiful. Full moon. I believe we have a full moon in Sagittarius right now. That's going to, I think, or maybe not right now. Maybe it's coming up. I think it's coming up November 30th or December 1st. It's one of those two. I think it also depends on where you live. So it's either November 30th or December 1st, and it's going to last for a few days with this full moon. So maybe the very beginning of December, we're going to realize what we need to do, and we're going to start taking action to what we need to do. Okay, we also have Scythe, another sense of release, cutting away negativity. An Archer, careful aim towards the future, knowing our target, having focus, being direct on what we need to do and where we need to go. We also have fireworks, so I do see success, celebration, passion. We also have holidays, so it could be maybe around the holidays that we may be seeing some form of celebration. We have bouquet, so we have harmony, beauty, being creative, art, maybe something that you desire is to be more artistic, more creative. I also see warmth, and I feel like, when we are able to heal, we're going to feel that light, that warmth of light within us. We also have love, maybe something romantic happening for some of you, reconciliation. I feel like more reconciliation with our inner self, could be with other people or somebody else, maybe even in a romantic relationship. We have dog. Oh, we also have beauty again, which we have beautiful over here. So definitely finding the beauty within us. But we have dog, a supportive friend, a sibling or peer, a pet, being faithful, companion, loyalty, devotion. I feel like this is towards your desires. Maybe you also seeking help from others, and that could be a friend, a sibling, or a peer, maybe therapy. But I feel like being faithful to yourself, loyal to yourself, and your inner self, your healing. We also have child, beginnings, innocent, brand new, creativity, spontaneous, carefree, and experienced, tender. Okay, so yeah, we have that hidden, the uncertainty of how things are going to go, and maybe that's because we are starting something brand new. We want to start something brand new, and so we're going to take action in the beginning of December towards that. But we are a little bit inexperienced, but know that that is okay. We just gotta keep moving along with it, right? I'm also getting like inner child healing with this as well. We've got ring, agreement, contract, partnership, things like that. This did pop up for my election video that I just got done filming. So again, maybe something around the election that you may be seeing. But this could also be signing a contract maybe with a therapist, or signing a contract around maybe the holidays, where you were celebrating something. Having a promise to yourself, I'm also hearing. Continuing to work on this new thing. Closure, maybe within our inner self. We have ship. This is a great card to pop up when we want to definitely be starting something new. And so we're taking forward movement. And it's going to be swift. So definitely movement towards success. We also have Lily, established, ambition, experience, so gaining experience even though we may be new at something. Development, achievement, longevity, so something maybe we're getting into that's going to be for a very long time. We also have woman, so this could represent you or a person that you know. A girlfriend, a fiance, a spouse, a love interest. We did talk about love with the bouquet coming up. Church, principle, religion, dogma, family values, marriage. Again, that could be relating to love. Tradition. Maybe some of you are getting married in the month of December. And we're a little bit unsure of the future, maybe even around the election, what is to come. But we also have family values here. So I did talk about like family coming up during the holidays. We also have bear, boss, CEO, judge, bully, mama bear, protective, finances, benefits, strong, affluence, muscular. Okay, so I think I mentioned about some of you maybe being a mother in the month of December. Did I talk about that, or was that a past reading? Which then we also have child that popped up. But being strong with our inner self, with ourselves, with our finances. Maybe starting a higher position at our job, like a boss, a CEO, judge. If this is around the election, because this card popped up for one of my, or maybe both of them, election videos. Again, seeing something that would be related to, like, I read CEO as like the FBI, so maybe we find something out and that makes us feel a little bit better. We also got mama bear. So yeah, possibly becoming a mother. And last we have, for at least these oracle cards, we have snake. Deception, jealousy, betrayal, backstab, toxic, silent treatment, seduction, section. Okay, so I do think maybe this is talking about what has hurt us. This deception, this jealousy, this backstabbing, this betrayal, some toxic behaviors, some toxic energy, just negativity that maybe we've been holding on to that we need to release and let go. I do feel like for some of you, this could be also a warning, especially if we're talking about family, and maybe if we're not really getting along with family right now because of post-election things happening, to not go back into that situation. Don't give in. Maybe you're giving them the silent treatment this month if they're reaching out to you and you just don't want nothing to do with them. Maybe they're giving you the silent treatment. So a lot of things with that card. Okay, last set of cards. We have planetary cards here. We've got Saturn and we've got Mars coming in. So with Mars, we are self-asserted. We do have some upheaval going on. We've got this raw energy, aggression, desire. We were talking about desires. There is anger. So I do feel like playing around with the snake card, maybe even family. Survival instinct, impulsive, Less sudden change, action. We talked about a lot of action. There's aggression and chaos. And then this is also related to the Tower card. So there may be some things that are going to be shaking us up a little bit in the month of December. But I do feel like we are going to have the strength to get through it while we're healing as well, okay? Because then in Saturn, we also have accomplishment. Again, we've got accomplishment in this Oracle card, and now we've got accomplishment with Saturn. We have completion of cycles, duty, responsibility, governing time and matter, structure, achievement, which I think we had achievement with something else, right? Commitments, boundaries, integration, restrictions. So all things we've been talking about. And I'm really liking that completion of cycles. You know, I think we're coming to the end of something. You know, end of the year, end of a cycle. We just need to do a lot of healing. And then for the last one, we've got some zodiac signs here. So Scorpio's coming out in the sign of Pluto, which actually Pluto has just gone into Aquarius, which is a huge big deal. If you don't know what that is, definitely look it up, do some research about it. But it's like a transformation of what's going to be going on in our world right now. It's like I said, it's a really big deal. It's also related to the Death card, which the Death card I definitely think about like endings and beginnings. We've got passionate, perceptive, focused, again, determined, fixed, resourceful, possessive, psychological, deep prowling, probing, and sexual. So, yeah, I get definitely focused from this, determined, fixed. I do feel like fixed is a really strong one here right now about like staying fixed on where you are, not letting anybody sway you, even if it is family. If they are reaching out, maybe you are fixed on giving them the silent treatment. But I feel like very fixed on your future and being very focused and determined on your future, not caring what anybody else thinks. A new beginning for you, an ending and beginning. You know, something is ending and a new thing is beginning. This is where we have the completion of cycles coming through. We also have Sagittarius, which we are in Sagittarius season right now. Optimistic, restless, humorous, outspoken, desires knowledge, enthusiastic, adventuresome, independent. It says irresponsible, but I don't really feel like that. It's also related to the Temperance card, and we were talking about balance, and I do feel like that is also coming through with this Jupiter card. We have Aquarius, which I was just saying, we are in the age of Aquarius right now with Pluto. It's also related to the Star card, which we did get with desires and wishes. We have assertive, independent, cool, idealistic, original, detached, opinionated, intellectual, individualistic, and eccentric. So I do feel like we are definitely coming in this month, finding ourselves, finding our individual selves, and becoming detached from those who may have hurt us. And then we have Gemini, that is related with the Lovers card, and we do have some romance popping up, so maybe there is still, again, something romantic happening for you. Maybe for some of you, this is something romantic that you're actually leaving behind. You found out like this relationship is not good for you, and so we're leaving that in the past. But Gemini is also an air sign and related with Mercury, which right now we are in Mercury retrograde, and I do believe at this time it is bringing up some like past stuff. So maybe some of that past stuff that we need to be healing from. But we have talkative, adaptable, mental, intellectual, social, versatile, responsive, changeable, witty, inquisitive, flexible, and superficial. Okay, so I do think we're going to be doing a lot more talking, maybe like releasing being more vocal about our hurt, and that's going to help us release as well. Becoming more adaptable, healing our mind as well. I feel like being social with the right crowd. Maybe feeling a little bit more witty again like we used to. A little bit more flexible, a little bit more loosey-goosey. We're not holding on to so much stress. Maybe holding on to anger as well. So yeah, a month of releasing, healing, finding ourselves, finding the right people to be with, focusing on our wishes and our desires. Even though the future may seem uncertain right now, just know that that's okay. You are going to accomplish whatever it is that you set to, whatever your heart desires. It's just we also need to do some healing, and that's really an important focus for you right now, okay? But I hope you liked this reading. I hope it resonated with you, and I really wish you a great month of December and the end to 2024. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye. Hello, Pile 2, and welcome to your reading. If you are here, that means you chose the Amethyst cluster. So I had already read the Amethyst stone for you in the intro, but just to let you know, like what I had told Pile 1, I've already shuffled the cards for you guys. I just don't have a whole lot of time this week, so I'm trying to move through these readings as fast as possible because it's the holidays. I also have a wedding next week to go to, and I just don't have a whole lot of time because the wedding involves travel. And then while I was at it, I was like, well, might as well go see my parents for Christmas. So yeah, just have a whole lot going on. So there's not going to be any shuffling on camera. That includes the Astro dice that I'm going to be using. I've already rolled these dice for you, and so then I can go ahead and like look up a description of it for you guys, so I don't have to do it on camera and then edit it and stuff like that. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and move your amethyst cluster up here. I'm sorry it's so dark. I hope to lighten up the video when I'm editing. But let's go ahead and look at your Astro dice before we get into the cards. So for you guys, we actually had Virgo and Venus. I'm sorry that it's blurry. So yeah, Virgo and Venus in the second house. And I will definitely be linking what site I'm reading this from down in the description below. But with Venus and Virgo in the second house, your love life is an intriguing blend of practicality and sensuality. You're like an accountant in a lingerie store, carefully calculating the cost of each item, but also appreciating the delicate lace and silk. You're not one to fall head over heels in love at first sight. Instead, you approach relationships with the same meticulousness that a master chef uses to create a gourmet meal. Love for you is a process. You don't just throw ingredients into a pot and hope for the best. No, you carefully measure each component, adjusting the recipe as needed to ensure the perfect blend of flavors. You're looking for a partner who complements you, who fills your gaps and smooths out your rough edges. You want someone who's reliable, someone who will be there for you, rain or shine. Now let's talk about that Venus in the second house. This placement suggests that you're a bit of a materialist when it comes to love. You appreciate the finer things in life and are attached to partners who can provide them. But don't mistake this for gold digging. It's not about the money, it's about the security and stability that wealth represents. You want a partner who's financially responsible, someone who knows the value of a dollar and isn't afraid to work with it, or isn't afraid to work for it. But there's a flip side to this practicality. Venus in the second house also indicates a deep appreciation for beauty and sensuality. You're drawn to partners who are physically attractive, yes, but more than that, you're looking for someone who knows how to enjoy the pleasures of the physical world. A partner who can appreciate a fine wine, a gourmet meal, a beautifully designed home. Someone who understands that life isn't just about work and responsibility, but also about enjoyment and pleasure. In the bedroom, you're a bit of a paradox. On one hand, you're methodical and meticulous, always making sure to dot your I's and cross your T's. But on the other hand, you're also deeply sensual and appreciative of the physical act of love. You're not one for wild, passionate romps. Instead, you prefer a slow, steady build-up, a crescendo of pleasure that leaves both you and your partner satisfied and content. So there you have it. With Venus in Virgo in the second house, your love life is a carefully balanced blend of practicality and sensuality. You're not one to rush into relationships, but when you do find that special someone, you're in it for the long haul. You're looking for a partner who can provide both financial stability and physical pleasure, someone who can appreciate the finer things in life, but also know the value of hard work and responsibility. But when you find that person, well, let's just say they're in for a treat. Okay, so I know that was very heavy on love, more like romantic love, finding the one, basically. And maybe that's what majority of you are looking for. But if you're not, if you're those people, if you're coming into this reading and you felt like pile 2 was your pile and what I had just read, you were like, no, I'm really not looking for someone right now, then this could just be for you on what it is that you love, like maybe your passion of like maybe what kind of career you want to get into, and maybe you're very picky on like finding that right fit for you. So take partner with what I just read and replace it with maybe like career or something like that, where it's just kind of like you and your career are something that you don't take for granted, you're in it for the long haul, that kind of thing. So yeah, just to help you have that resonate with you a little bit better. But let's go ahead and get into your reading a little bit more with the cards. So I actually am using a spread today. It's a tarot spread for the month, so that's what I'm going to be going off of. So let's go ahead and do that. And so for the vibe of the month, we have the Fool. So right away, your vibe is a very happy and blissful one, okay? I think for those of you with love, maybe this is showing that you are going to be finding the one. Again, if it's not a romantic love, it could be you finding that right job, just that right fit of whatever it is that you are looking for. And then for the theme of the month, we have we have the Five of Wands. So this is actually very opposing for the vibe and the theme. You think that would kind of go hand in hand with each other. But even though we may be blissful, we may also be seeing some quarrels come up. Maybe some pettiness coming up as your theme for the month. But maybe because of the Fool with the vibe, you're not letting that get to you. And I kind of feel like you may even know what I'm already talking about. And that your intuition, because we have the intuition with the amethyst stone here, you already know what's to come. That's the vibe I'm getting from that. And so our cosmic tip with the Hierophant Wow. Yeah, I definitely do feel like it's trusting your intuition. Maybe even trusting your practice if you do this kind of stuff. The action to take, we have the Empress. Okay. Pile 1 actually got the Emperor. And the Empress, opposite of what the Emperor is, gives more feminine vibes, more motherly vibes, more parental vibes. So maybe being even a little bit more parental towards you, yourself. Maybe with this Fool card, with this vibe of not letting it get to you. What requires your attention is actually the Six of Cups. This is actually giving me like family and friend vibes. Being more attentive. Definitely friends. Maybe this is coming through for some of you about there being maybe some arguments in your friend group. Maybe you're being a little bit too blissful. And so we need to pay a little bit more attention to what's going on around us with our relationships. And then with our main prediction, we have the Knight of Swords. So I feel like overall, we're taking swift action. Maybe when we realize what's going on here, to maybe end these arguments. Yeah. Kind of feel like you may be the rescuer here. If it's more family for you, maybe coming in, because we were also talking about love, so maybe there's like quarrels happening within the family around maybe your love life, maybe even between you and a partner. But I definitely feel like this is more friend oriented and that we're coming in and like trying to save the day or something like that. With our oracle cards, we do have deluge, and I always have to look up the meaning of that word because I never know what it means. And it has like a storm cloud on it, and I did read about like a flooding of, something that kind of definitely ties in with what's going on here. A flooding of emotions. We have concealed. Maybe it's concealed at this time. Because we're in our moment. We're having this good vibe about ourselves, about our life. And so at this moment, it's concealed. But I do feel like if we pay attention, we're going to break that seal and take action. Meander, definitely with the Fool card, meandering down our path. So happy, so blissful. And I think even though, like I said, even though you're aware of what's going on, I really don't think it's getting to you that much. which is why you may be feeling so like level-headed to come in and save the day. Upheaval, yes, definitely makes sense. And then we also have evolution. So maybe like an evolution within our circle, like our friend circle. An evolution even within yourself. Maybe you don't really realize you have it in you to come in and save the day, basically. And so we're going to see this evolution within ourselves. I feel like we're so proud of ourselves as well. We've got balance, finding that balance, bringing in that balance, being centered also within yourself. Awareness of what's going on around us. Also meditate. Maybe doing some more meditation. Maybe you are meditating right now, which is why we actually feel so good. But yes, centered enough to just come in and set things straight, bring things back into balance. Maybe even with concealed, you have this power, this unknown power within you that is going to break free. We also have tower, we have stand alone, guidance, experience. Okay. This to me definitely feels sturdy and having the strength to go out and do something. And we may even stand alone with our action. But again, it's really not bothering us any. We have garden, public venues, society, crowds, audience, party, meeting, event, a date, community, outdoors. We were talking about love and romance in the last reading. And so this does kind of make me feel like, an event going on. We were talking about love just now with the meaning of your dice here. Yeah, I think you're going to stand firm and keep maybe this venue going, this event going. Maybe the fight will kind of happen at this event. We also have Wheel of Fortune. We got fate, karma, cycles, forces of the universe, destiny, synchronicity, luck of the draw. It still makes me feel like with the Fool card, I think you're aware of this cycle, this ending and beginning. I think we were talking about the ending and beginning in the last pile as well. Karma definitely strikes out. We have good and bad karma. I think for you, you're in that good karma phase. Messenger, we have writer, messenger, movement, message, travel, news, visitor, delivery, goals, green light, progress. Goes along with this Knight of Swords. You are the writer, you are the messenger, you are the one moving things forward. Mice, illness, fatigue, stress, anxiety, worry, reduce, restless, filth, decay, deteriorate, loss, theft. Okay. I feel like this is going along with the Five of Wands card, with the arguing and stuff. And so maybe there is some anxiety and worry about that happening. But I do think you're going to surprise yourself with just how strong you are to take all of that on. Heart's love, romance, joy, bliss, heart's desire, content, affection, fulfillment, kindness, forgiveness. Just definitely going along with what your dice were saying about love. Yeah, I think we've got this anxiety and worry within us, but we're still so focused on love and this blissfulness. You may even be able to find some forgiveness around these people who may be arguing, because we're so happy, because we're so in love, because you found your heart's desire, whether that is toward an actual person or maybe like a job, like we were talking about, just as an example of what that desire is for you. You're so happy and blissful, like what this says. Again, this argument is not phasing you. Mortar and pestle, blend, brew, alchemy, breaking things down, making something else, potion, spell work. Okay, I felt like making something else work for you. Regardless, we got that standalone, so regardless of what other people may think, you're making something work for you, and that's bringing in so much blissfulness and joyfulness. Alchemy, being able to actually maybe mold the situation, heal the situation. Tornado, yeah, storm brewing, torn up, a sudden unexpected end, breakdown, over and gone, end, destroy, liberate. Okay. Yeah, I think we're aware of a storm brewing here among people. Maybe some things are going to be unexpectedly ending, but I do definitely feel more like it's a storm brewing. We have breakdown here. We also have breaking things down with the mortar and pestle. Maybe there's going to be some kind of ending, but I don't think it's going to bother us as much. Maybe you already see something about to end too. And then we have cross. Destiny, spirituality, divine guidance, trials, necessity, conviction, duty, crisis, fate. Okay, so maybe there's something, if you're doing maybe this kind of stuff, because we also have spell work and now we've got spirituality coming out. We got potions, so this kind of makes me think of maybe some kind of witchcraft or like getting into divinity, things like that aren't typically the norm with some people. And so maybe you're coming out with what it is that you love doing, what it is that you desire to do, and that may not set well with some people. But because you're so happy and one with yourself, and it makes you feel so whole, you don't care if people blow up. But going back to love and maybe even marriage, crowd, going along with pile one actually had the church card. So I kind of find it interesting that we also have the cross pop up. And so maybe you are somebody who's reading both piles, and therefore you're resonating with something that I'm saying in both piles in regards to maybe like a public venue, a wedding, getting married in a church, finding our spirituality with our partner in a church, but like you're aware of maybe some arguments that might happen during the wedding, maybe during the reception, and yeah, again, it's just not going to bother you. For our planetary cards, we have Venus and Jupiter. So, interesting about Jupiter coming out, it actually is related to the Wheel of Fortune card in tarot. Even though this isn't tarot, we do have the Wheel of Fortune card here. So we have expansive, optimistic, tolerant, grateful, destiny, turning point, goodwill, fortune, luck, growth, being optimistic, making stable changes. Okay, so just a reminder, you are making stable changes in the month of December. Regardless of what might anger people, you're making stable changes for yourself and possibly for your partner as well. But then we also have Venus, goddess of love, attraction and attractiveness and others and ourselves and others, grace, charm, beauty, love, relationship, art, magnetism, abundance, pleasure, happiness. It's also related to the Empress card, which we have right here. Okay, so yeah, we just have so much love. Just stay in your love, stay in your blissfulness, regardless of what happens. Where you know that where you are at right now in life, whether it is with your passion in your work or a romance, a partnership, or maybe even both, you are in the right place. You are right where you need to be, and you know that. So just trust your intuition about that, okay? Lastly, we have some zodiac cards. We have Gemini, which pile 1 also got as well, which actually relates to the Lovers card. So talkative, adaptable, mental, intellectual, social, versatile, responsive, changeable, witty, inquisitive, flexible, and superficial. I also feel like with the wittiness kind of going along with the blissfulness and the joyfulness, that despite all of this arguing maybe happening around you, you're going to be witty about it. And that might be how you show that it's not going to get to you. We have Pisces, which is related to the Moon card. So it could be some uncertainty right now. Maybe you are a little bit uncertain of like whether or not it actually is going to happen with these arguments, or somebody causing some kind of trouble. But still, regardless of that, we have intuitive. Again, our intuition knows. Dreamy, artistic, compassionate, sympathetic, perceptive, tender, humane, sensitive, and personable. So, or impressionable, I mean. So definitely listening to our intuition, but remaining in our creativity, remaining in our compassion. You can be perceptive of like what's going on around you. Yeah. We also have Cancer, which is related to the Chariot. So that's very victorious. So we have gentle, conservative, feeling, nurturing, sensitive, or defensive, complex, resists change, self-protective, contemplative, and sentimental. So maybe for some of you, even if you're standing alone, you might be self-protective of yourself. This is also related to the moon, the planet moon, or the planet moon. Oh my god, it's not a planet, but we have the moon. It's related to the moon, the physical moon, and then with the moon card. So definitely thinking about like maybe some things that are hidden, maybe some things that are kind of dark. But it definitely is related to intuition as well. So I think this is just serving as a reminder to be gentle with ourselves as well, and nurturing with ourselves, maybe even nurturing with our partner. I'm not getting the resists change so much from your pile though. But if you are resisting change, know that I think this change is actually kind of good. And then lastly, we have Libra. Ooh, it's related to the Justice card. And it's also related to Venus. So we have consummate, diplomat, refined, just, accommodating, kind, desires harmony and balance. sociable, artistic again, and indirect. Okay. So, yeah, I think just staying in your current vibe, staying in your blissfulness, your joy, joyfulness, your love, whether that is a romantic love or a love of what you do, stay in your desires, just stay where you're at. Do not let anybody else get to you. Your current vibe, I feel like, is the right vibe. Okay, and do not let anybody sway you. You are evolving into your best life. So, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for coming by. I hope that this reading resonated with you. And I hope the month of December does not go too bad for you. But looking at your cards, I do feel like even though there may be some upheaval, you are still going to remain in your beautiful bliss. So I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great month, despite what we were just talking about. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.